You are an amazing Google Ads manager. You can get an 8x ROAS and just absolutely kill it in Google Ads. But then you can't get a client to sign a $5,000 retainer. I gotcha. That was me. I entered the space of Google Ads freelancing, and I just knew. I knew in my heart that I was the best Google Ads manager, but I found it very hard to get clients. Hi, I'm Sarah Steeman, and this is my freelance channel where I am marrying my absolute love for creating content with my Google Ads expertise so I can help freelancers like you build a sustainable freelance business and continue to grow and attract clients and not have to beg for them. Because again, I know the pain of doing it. I've been there, I've done that. And sadly, my computer died in the middle of making this, which makes me really sad because I love working with my better camera, but you're going to have to deal, but the information's good. So that constant fear that if you put a piece of content out there and it's wrong is really stopping you from living your best life and getting the clients that you deserve. I mean, after all, you can get that huge, amazing ROAS and you're killing it with Google Ads. Play that out. What is the fear? That somebody is going to look and say, oh my gosh, you're wrong. And here's why you're wrong. I could tell you that not only is that not going to happen, but when it does happen, it's actually happening to the people that use ChatGPT to steal content and put it out there and post it. It's not going to happen to real, genuine content creators that are adding value about Google Ads on a day-to-day basis based on their experience. And if you're building your freelance business or you're working in-house and trying to get out, this is the fear that really keeps your competition way ahead of you. And it's stopping you from living your best life. So today, we're obviously not talking about Google Ads. We're not talking about smart bidding. We're not talking about brand or non-brand. We are going to talk about the strategic advantage of putting your flag down and building your influence in this amazing, amazing platform of Google Ads. And here's the thing. When it comes to paid search, being wrong, it's a really flexible term. So first of all, let's start with why. Isn't doing good work enough? No. And here's why. Authority is the ultimate filter. Think about it like this. A potential client is searching for a Google Ads freelancer or a Google Ads expert to help them build their campaign. And they find 3 websites. One has a website and a standard pitch. Another one has a pretty bare LinkedIn profile and a few testimonials. But the third has video after video after video where they describe the exact process that they use to get results, where they have Google Ads tutorials, where they talk about their business, where they talk about the fact that they're a mom of 3, where they lean into the person that they are. Who do you think that you're going to call? Who do you think you're going to binge watch? And frankly, even if you decide not to call that third freelancer, you may watch their content anyway. And guess what? They may be monetizing their content on the back end. And so they don't necessarily need to take that client or have that desperation if the person calls that person, right? And they present better overall versus trying to sell on their Google Ads expertise. They're like, hey, take it or leave it. Even if you don't come join me, even if you don't book a coaching call, even if you don't hire me for management, you're watching my content and that has value too because I'm monetizing that on the back end. And this is why content works. So that fear that you have that you're wrong, what you're really worried about is being seen. And you also have to consider that you know more than 99% of the people watching, because really your fear of being wrong is really your fear in the paid search community writ large. At the end of the day, your audience isn't the paid search community. It is a marketing director, a small business owner, a CMO, or frankly, a new PPC analyst. Also, when it comes to being wrong, you're not talking about do this, do that. You're talking about your experience, and that's not wrong. For example, I often go back to the case study that I have of a client that currently, right now, is on maximize clicks and never touches their account, despite me telling them all the time they need to put in negatives and look at their account. But they're having tremendous success. If I went out on LinkedIn or I went out on YouTube and said, maximize clicks is the best strategy, that would be wrong. Kind of, but not based on my experience with this client. So again, you talk about your experience and what you've done, not necessarily prescriptive, do this, do that. And the truth is, business owners, they need an authoritative person like you. They don't need somebody that's just going to apply, do this, do that type strategies. That's not why they're calling you. And so that in itself should be one huge reason why you should get over the fear of creating content, because it's not a right or wrong situation. And you're not creating content for the Google Ads audience, creating content for the business owner and again, the decision maker in the business. So really my takeaway for this portion is that silence is a greater threat to your freelance business and building the career of your dreams than being wrong. So now that we agree, you need to create content. I've dispelled why you should not be afraid. Let's talk about the fear of being fact-checked and how it's still there. How do you choose topics that can't be argued against? How do you change your content to focus away from truths to your experience in your specific process? The first helpful experience is to try using I statements. And again, these are all little tactics that have helped me because I have struggled with this as well, and I've gotten better and better over time. So instead of making a statement like, this is how I troubleshoot a high CPA, or how to troubleshoot a high CPA, you say, in my experience, this is how I have tackled a high CPA. So it's not educational how-to, it's I fixed it doing this. So essentially, you're not claiming a universal solution, you're saying your experience and then delivering all the nuance that went into that. So really what this does is it turns the content from a universal experience educational to an expert anecdote, and you're the anecdote and nobody can argue with it. So let's break down this process further. So in your next piece of content, I don't want you to talk about what Google Ads is. Instead, you could do something like my 12-point checklist for auditing an account. That's yours. That's your checklist. That's what you're bringing to the table. Or the 3-step process I use in every single account. It's a process. It's a methodology. It's what you bring to the table that's different than everyone else around you. Another thing that you can do is lean into your contrarian personality. Be anti something. Stand for something. So instead of saying something like smart bidding is good, say, in my experience, smart bidding has failed for 40% of the businesses that I work with. Or here's who smart bidding hurts the most. People with small budgets. You know this stuff. You know it. You got it. So you're talking about a well-known topic, but you're basically putting your personal experience into it. And again, the personal experience cannot be argued with. You, as the expert selling a service, are the critical thinker, not the Google Ads seller or the Google cheerleader. So a quick check-in. Are you tracking with me? I know that I'm giving a lot of information based on my experience and dispelling the fear that is inside you. And I know that that fear is real. So next, we're going to move from fear to focus. Because if you lean into your focus, it's going to take away and dispel any criticism that you could get. So here's the deal. If you are focused on making content like this, there will be people that disagree with you. They'll either have a more recent case study about something different, or Google will say something that completely contradicts what you said. And that's okay, because strategically, you're still winning. And here's what I said earlier, and the candid truth about paid search specifically and being right or wrong. We all know PPC is situational, not absolute. We know that as experts. It depends. It's not physics. It's not 1 + 1 equals. It's not a slot machine. I say that all the time in my content. An exact match keyword is only exact until Google decides today it's not exact. A strategy that absolutely kills it for one B2B SaaS company might bankrupt another. Your wrong strategy for one business is the right strategy for another business. We know that. Strategy is about context. So state your context. For example, for accounts spending under $5,000 in generation space. And then your right or wrong becomes a debate, and that debate becomes engagement. I have had people completely disagree with me in statements that I've made. I've completely disagreed with others in the comment field. And you know what happens? The engagement goes up. In fact, some people do this on purpose. My video will get more views. My LinkedIn post will get more views. My blog posts will get shared more because people don't agree with me, or because I'm being too pro-Google, or because I'm not being pro-Google enough and I'm being too critical. People will disagree, or because I get criticized a lot because I spend a lot of time in big business, and they'll say, well, that won't work for small businesses. But all that does is help engagement, help open up that communication, and help set you as an expert for the business owner that is ready and willing to come and work with you. So make sure that you embrace the criticism and you're okay and comfortable enough in yourself as you're making content to get over that fear and maintain your focus. So don't be defensive, be curious. So to wrap this video up today, if you are building a freelance business or a business doing Google Ads for clients, then content is your biggest leverage at this point, especially when everyone's leaning into AI and creating boring AI slop. Your originality, your personal stories, what you've done is your leverage. So to defeat the fear of being wrong, I want you to lean into your personal experience versus universal truths. I want you to focus on I statements. I want you to think about process and methodology over step-by-steps. And I really think that you should lean in and embrace the debate. And the truth is, if you're not getting challenged in your content, then your content probably isn't good enough. You're maybe not saying something that's interesting or helpful because nobody's commenting. They're just like, oh yeah. So be brave, put your process out there and share that with the world. The world desperately needs you. On a different note, more and more people have been reaching out to me about this content that I'm building on this channel because they either A, want to get out of their agency or want more business for their freelance business, but they need that accountability to do this with somebody and truly scale their content and make their lives easier. So I am excited to announce that I am opening up a very small cohort of Google Ads freelancers. I'm piloting a program that I want to start offering. So if this is something that interests you, make sure you make a comment in the comment field and I will reach out to you about the cohort. Anyways, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching The Sarah Steeman, where I talk about my business and freelance. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Happy content.